mods remain to be one of the most important aspects of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and today I'm going to teach you how to mod farm like a pro, how to identify which mods you need to invest in, and the best practices that you should be taking to try and get more and more speed mods, because quite frankly, I'm tired of people going into my comment section on my videos and saying, I can't farm good mods. Everybody can farm good mods. You just need to pray to RNG users hard enough. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy scribe. How the devil are we doing? I hope you are ready for your daily dose of Galaxy of Heroes. That's a mouthful. Alright, let me quickly spend my overcharged energy over here, just like that. A bit of bish bosh bosh, get 7 Chirotech, which are going to be used to break down into more mod slicing materials later. Not mod slicing, relic mats. Relic mats, but I digress, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and claim this. Okay. Mods. Mods are really important. Why are mods important? Because mods are the great differentiator, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Galaxy of Heroes, when it comes to unlocking legendary units, when it comes to doing well in raids, when it comes to beating special missions in TB, when it comes to do you win GAC and Territory War, mods is one of the pillars that can give you success. And the best thing about mods, unlike things like datacrons, is mods are eternal. Ladies and gentlemen, they are forever lasting, much like all of the embarrassing things that I happen to remember about 2 a.m. in the morning when I'm lying down in bed trying to get to sleep. I think, geez, I wish I didn't say such and such thing to that beautiful girl. I'm such an idiot. But mods are much like that, and that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. So I'm going to give you some base principles here, ladies and gentlemen. How do you go from a guy with no 25 plus speed mods to having one 25 plus speed mod? Because that first one will take you some time. Unfortunately, RNG is a big thing when it comes to mods, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing you can do about that outside of take the same approach as it requires for you to win the lottery. You just have to play more. You have to play more. Now, this is not going to be how to get more mods from a whaling perspective, because I don't whale on mods. You can whale on mods. There are a bunch of packs that do come out, and oftentimes there are actually store packs now that come sometimes with like entire mod sets that have actually got pretty good base stats to them that you can use as a risky mechanic. Now, I would say save that for the mega super hyper whale guys. Let that be for the end game guys that are at the top of Kyber or want to be at the top of Kyber. They can blow money on mods. We're going to do it the sensible way, the easy way, the free-to-play way. So first and foremost, we need to think about mod energy, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to make some progress, some meaningful progress in getting mods, you should be refreshing this 3 times a day at a minimum, okay? So you can refresh it 3 times a day at 50 crystals per refresh. That is going to give you an extra 120 energy per refresh on your mod energy, okay? That is kind of a bare minimum. Now, what are you going to be doing with that mod energy? I'm glad you asked, because that helps me in my task of getting you more mods. Mod Battles has recently gone for a little bit of a facelift. It's had an overhaul, it's had a glow up, and it's made it a little bit simpler. There are now only 2 tiers of mod battles that we need to do. Mod challenges are gone. They are the way of the dodo. When you go to mod battles, you will have 1 node for each set type of mods. Now, I'm not going to be talking about which mod type should you be farming and why is it almost always speed, because 90% of the time all you're going to be farming is speed. You can see over here I've not actually farmed more speed mods in a while, because ever since this change, for some reason it's got rid of the 3 stars on our mod battles for speed. I'm actually focusing on things like defense sets and offense sets and crit damage sets. I have plenty of speed set mods. I will need plenty more, but these are my sort of pinch points right now. I always want more of these at the moment. Got lots of speed sets to go around, but these are my crunch points, right? So, one thing, we can farm mods just from here. You can take all of that energy refresh and you can just fill up your mod inventory with loads and loads of mods in the hope of getting something good. Where I like to focus is I like to focus over here. These end 2, ignore. To be honest, these end 3, ignore. I never farm these nodes, or very rarely do I farm these nodes, because the drop rate on these, and these are for your 6E to 6A mod slicing, the drop rates are terrible, okay? So what I like to do is I focus on these 3 areas here. I will spend my mod energy here until I have 300 of the Mark 1 fusion discs, 300 of the Mark 1 fusion coils, and 300 of the Mark... No, not that one. This one. Oh, well, apparently I'm okay on this. I've got absolute boatloads, apparently. Yeah, I've got loads of these, so don't worry about that. So I would just make sure that you've got a big, healthy chunk of these 3 here. You use this to go from, 5E to 5A, getting all those slices up there. 6E modding is very, very different and has a very, very different crunch point. We want to try and focus to get as much value out of the 5-dot modding that we possibly can get before we even think about 6-dot modding, okay? So once you've got your 300 of these mats, that's when you fill up your mod inventory with whatever type of mod that you're farming. Now, 90% of all characters are going to be in speed sets. Speed is king in this game. It absolutely is. It's not the only stat that matters. Of course it isn't. We do need things like percentile offense, percentile health, percentile protection. We need potency, we need tenacity, we need defense. Yes, we do need defense. It's a fantastic stat. Percentile, not flat. But most of the time you're going to be farming speed, right? And then you're going to go into your mod inventory and you are just going to mass upgrade everything. Now, a lot of people, I hate that it always sends me to error units. A lot of people will do all of their modding within this here. Well, they'll go to manage mods and people will make a bunch of filters and templates for them to look at all of their stuff. They're like, okay, let me show all of my mods that are level 1 right now, filter it, and then they'll select all of these and they'll be like, okay, well, I mean, they'll select all and they'll upgrade all of these like this. Now, I do not use any of this modding in here because I do all of my modding within Hot Utils. It is a much better platform to manage your mods in. Unfortunately, it does require a Patreon subscription, but that is how I do my modding. And I can show you a high level way that I do it. Look, I've done my mod refreshing already, but I'll blow 300 and I'll just show you how I would normally manage my mods. I'd go into here, let's just say I'm ready to go and I want a bunch of defense mods. Farm these, I've probably got a full inventory. We've got a full inventory, of course we do. But that's fine. How many is actually sitting in my inventory? Oh, not that many. Okay, so I've bought a load of mods. I'm ready to slice them. How will I do this? I use Hot Utils, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So I will go into Hot Utils and I will look at the management section on the left-hand side over here, and this will basically show all my mods. Now I'll have to do a refresh because I literally just went in, farmed myself up a bunch of mods in the hope that I will find something useful. So I'll refresh this and it'll give me an idea of what have I got in my inventory that I can use right now, and we'll use that as a base starting point. Okay, cool. This shouldn't take too long. Hot Utils is usually quite quick. Okay, so what we'll see here in this section here, incomplete mods, this is all the stuff that I basically just farmed, all right? Now, when I work on this, I do it in a multi-phased approach. I will start by editing it, and I'll say, just show me the arrows, okay? Because I just want to see the arrows. And it will immediately filter out everything else and just show me what are the new arrows that I just farmed. I'd look at this and think, I've got an offense set over here. I kind of want all of the offense arrows that I've got, percentile offense. Do I really want a defense set with a health set? Yeah, it does have speed secondary, so I'll probably keep that. Defense set with defense percentage primary? You'd think yes, but actually no. No. Generally speaking, this is a little bit nuanced here, but if I've got a defense set, I'm actually wanting either health or protection or speed or offense. Those are kind of the ones that I'm wanting. So what I can do is I can go into edit and I'll look at this and I'm like, okay, in my arrows, what do I want out of these defense arrows? I want to keep speed arrows, so let's leave that unmarked. I want to keep the offense ones. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's say we click all the ones we don't want, basically. So crit chance, we can't have crit damage. Potency, we want to keep the health and protection. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. I don't even want crit avoidance, to be honest. So we've got 2 arrows out of everything that we just farmed now that we don't want. So I'll just select those and I'll sell them. I'll just be like, okay, get rid of those. And Hot Utils is then going to log into my account, essentially, and sell those mods. They're gone, right? Then I'll go back into here. I'll get rid of those, right? I'm just working on the arrows at the moment. I'll think, okay, so these are all mods that I kind of want to invest in. I'll select all of these, and I'll press the upgrade to expose incomplete, right? What that's going to do is going to take those mods, it's going to level them up and show me all of the substats that exist on those mods. And I'm like, okay, this purple has got speed, I'm going to keep that. This blue has got speed. I'm going to keep that. This green has got no speed. This health has got no speed, so we'll get rid of those. Easy as that. We're just like nice and easy, quickly get rid of the mods that we think are trash. Generally speaking, if a mod doesn't have speed, I'm not going to keep it. Okay. Now I have a baseline, and I'm going to go over this. I've got a nice little infographic for you later to help you identify which mods you should be slicing. I have a baseline. When they've got just the opening roll of speed, if it's full, I'll give it a test. Okay. So these two over here. Now, if you're really short on cash, you could just be upgrading them to a single tier. But I'm quite flush with cash. I've got like 500,000 credits. So I'm just going to upgrade these to max. Normally, you'd go 12 if you want to save yourself millions of credits, but I just don't care. And then we looked at it. Now, for these, where these speed sets are, how much speed they actually rolled, I'm not keeping either of these. Okay, 13 speed with 3 rolls for me is terrible. That's really low averages. 8 for 2 is also terrible. So I'm going to sell those. So out of that modding just there, we've identified all of the arrows and we've gotten rid of them because they're all useless, right? I'll then go back into my quick filter and I'll remove that arrow. We're just going to be left now with everything that wasn't an arrow. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to expose all of them, even the ones that have got speed. If you want to save yourself some money, you can pre-identify those that have got speed. Don't need to use them. And then I'm going to get rid of everything that is below my appetite to invest in. Okay. So for me, I'll keep anything that's at a baseline of 4 speed. So identify everything up until 4 speed. If it's got 3 speed, like here, it's all getting sold. So I'm going to unselect everything I want to keep. Boom. All of this here, I'm going to sell it. Now, if you are looking for something that doesn't have speed, because maybe you want to build out a tenacity set on your nest or something, I don't know, we're talking old school here, then you've got to tailor it to your own situation, right? But I'm happy with all of these. So once again, I'm now going to upgrade these to max level. Like I said, you can go to 12 if you really care about your credits. I'm way past that point. I'm way past that point of caring. And then I'm going to trim the fat once again. Because this is my endgame account, I don't care about a 3 roll with 13 speed. I'm going to sell that. You want to unselect everything you want to keep. So 2 rolls of 11 speed is phenomenal. I'm keeping that. 2 rolls 11 speed, I'm keeping that. The greys, I'm going to keep all of the greys and all of the greens, okay? So I'm only going to get rid of this 13 speed mod. That's absolutely right. I'm just selling a 13 speed mod. Okay, good. So we've sort of narrowed it down. We've still got some good things. I'm going to select all of them and I'm just going to slice them. Slice all of them at once to see where it takes me, okay? This is why I much prefer hot utils. This is so much easier, not only to multi-level up, multi-upgrade all your mods, but you can also track it really easily in here. You don't have to change filters or anything. It's just, this is your workbench. These are the mods you're working on. So because of how I like to look at mods, this is still good high base roll. This is still good, but high base roll. If it's 2 and 11, that's really good. That means I've got a 6 and a 5, basically, in terms of rolls for speed. So I'm going to keep these, but this is 2 rolls and it's 8 speed. For me, 2 rolls, it needs to have a 10 minimum. So I'll sell. These 2 I'm going to keep and sell, keep. So I'm getting rid of these because they've had the opportunity to roll into speed and they either have rolled really low or they just haven't rolled for 2. This means I'm taking too much of a risk on this blue mod. It's just a waste of mats for me. So I'm just going to sell those. Sell them off completely. Okay, and then we're just left, once again, with the mods that I want to invest in. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to slice them up again. Go! This is why I like hot utils. It's just really easy. So now, check out that. That's a good mod. That's 3 rolls of speed with 17 speed. That means I've had a 6, a 6, and a 5. That's really high base speed. That's an awesome mod already. So we're definitely going to be slicing that up further. This one's 11 speed. You could choose, you've gone to purple, it's only rolled twice. You could say, no, I don't want it. Crit chance on the primary on the triangle arrow, it's not great. But if you're really hurting for speed, you might want to go up to gold just to see if it hits speed one more time. These blues now, I'm selling them because low rolls of speed. It's only got 1 roll. I'm not going to run the risk on running this again, so I'm just selling all of them. Now, this is just if you are only exclusively looking at speed, okay? Now, because we're here and we're doing this as part of an experiment, I'm going to take these further here with us live on the show today to see where this goes. This one's going to go up to 6E modding. It's going to give me +1 speed because whenever you go into 6-dot modding, you're going to get a +1 on your speed. And we actually rolled an additional roll of speed over here to 16. 3 and 16, so 3 rolls of speed, giving 16 is good. That means I got a 5 roll, a 5 roll, and a 6 roll. That's good base speed levels that I'm happy to invest in further. So I'm going to slice this one up to gold as well, because it has the opportunity. I like to look for an opportunity where I can easily get 25 plus on a speed secondary. So both of these are well worth investing in. Let's slice them again. Take them further. Do we get any more speed? I'm hoping this mod advice is proving to be useful to you. If it is at home, can I just ask you very kindly, ladies and gentlemen, when I check my metrics, I notice that only about 50% of all the viewers on this channel are subscribed. If you could do me a really, really big favor, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing and it really helps my channel, helps me have larger reach and bigger growth. And I will continue to provide you content that is going to improve your account to the maximal capabilities. Thank you so much. No and no. I'm quite happy to take this further. I'd quite happily use all of my 5e modding. Now, if I wanted to be if I want to be really sensible about this, I'll focus on one mod, right? I'll focus on one mod. 18 and 3 speed is, 3 rolls of 18 speed is really, really good. So this has got a high ceiling for speed. So I'll blow all of my mats on this one mod. I don't mind if this is not actually hitting speed right now. Obviously, I would rather it hit speed, but I'm okay taking this all the way up to the top in the hopes that I can actually max out that speed. Unfortunately, we didn't land any speed in the 6-dot mod, so I'm going to go into calibration. We can talk a little bit more about calibration in terms of what's the sensible way of doing it, right? You should always only calibrate, in my opinion, when you are at 6A, when it's maxed out, because you've gained the most amount of opportunities to recalibrate, but also maximize the opportunities to land in the stat that you want, okay? So in this particular mod, when we identified these stats, the 2 bad stats on this is flat protection and flat offense, okay? I'm not going to re-roll the flat protection right now in this instance because it's actually got 4 rolls. And when something has got 5 rolls of a particular stat, when you go to recalibrate it, provided you are not recalibrating the one with 5 rolls, you have basically eliminated the chance of hitting that stat. So in this, if I recalibrate offense now, it lands on protection. There's now 5 rolls of protection, which means if I go to recalibrate, say, percentile offense, it could only go to percentile offense, flat offense, and speed. So essentially, if I'm trying to target speed, having protection at maxed out stats means that I've got an extra percentile, what is it, like an extra 33% or something? No, it's less than that. It's like, you know, I've got a 33% chance of rolling speed instead of a 25%, right? That's the simple way of looking at it. It's an extra 8%. So I'm going to re-roll on this flat offense. We'll calibrate this and hopefully it goes to speed. It went to flat offense and it went lower. CG, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? I'm going to discard those changes. We don't want that. But I will try again. We'll calibrate again. I'll re-roll that flat offense. Where does it go? It went to protection. Okay, so now we actually have that opportunity where we can say, okay, we've got a higher opportunity now to roll ourselves some speed. The problem is, percentile offense on a crit damage set is like, you actually want that percentile offense. You really do. But do you want the percentile offense more than the speed? Not really. So I'm actually going to recalibrate this offense. You watch it go to flat offense now. Oh, it went to speed. So we got a 4 roll of speed. I'm going to keep those changes. And it's put us up to 23 speed over here. I'm going to calibrate it again. We'll go on here again because we've got a higher chance of speed. I want to try and get that last roll of speed. If we get a good high roll of speed, of course I went to flat offense. I'm going to discard that. And I think we've got another 2 calibrations left. Let's see. This is not an efficient way of doing it, guys. This is really not an efficient. I'm just trying. I'm trying to roll that last speed. Stop rolling flat offense. You son of a gun. All right. Okay. We'll do it one more time for freedom. I think I have the mats to do this. So let's see. Just give me that last roll of speed, please. Flat offense again. This game hates me. This game absolutely hates me. It really does. Yeah, I can't calibrate that anymore, so it's 23 speed, but we had the opportunity and we took the gamble, right? Okay, So that is how I would go systematically trying to upgrade my speed. And then if I've bought any speed mods from the store, they'll appear down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and select and select and select and select. All of these mods here, they're level 1 mods. They do not have any speed. That one does. So I'm just going to sell these to try and recoup some of the cost. And frankly speaking, you're always going to have to prune your speed inventory mods, your mod inventory, because they're going to overwhelm you, and you'll need to do it if you want to keep farming more mods. Okay, so let's see what happened there. We just rolled those additional mods, we leveled them up, so they're going to go into our workbench. This is a defense mod with speed primary, so I'll quite happily keep that. Then we had this one roll up to 11. Not interested in that. And this one doesn't actually have any speed on it at all, so we'll just sell that. Okay, apparently it's in... I've got 2 mods selected here. Unselect all. Let's just... oh no, it does have speed. Speed down there. Okay, I will keep that. It's got 10 speed, it's fine. Okay, cool. So that's how I would go about going around and trying to level up my mods when I'm doing it. Let's head back to the game now and talk a little bit more about where are the sources of the things that we need to get. Okay, so I have filled up some of my mod inventory space, so I'll just claim everything that's in my inbox and I'll level them up in a similar way later. Let's talk about mod slicing materials. Where do we farm them? So obviously, went through in your mod battles, you go over here, you farm all of your 5A slicing materials over here. We just used a bunch of them, so we had 300, we're now down to 200 essentially. I'll have to farm those back up. One of the most important areas for us to gain access to 6A mod slicing is over here within our episode shipments. These Mark II thermal exchange units you should be trying to purchase every single time that they're in the store. You get them from various events, assault battles and stuff like that over the course of the month, so make sure you keep an eye out on the events page and just trying to farm these up as much as possible. Things like Smuggler's Run give you masses of access to things like micro attenuators. This is what you're going to be using for recalibrating. I just blew through like 400 calibration mats trying to get that one thing. The reason I did that is because that 23 speed mod, if it would have recalibrated one of those rolls into speed and it hit a 6, that would have been a 29 speed secondary mod, which is incredibly valuable. Those are so hard to come by, so rare, and absolutely it's worth blowing hundreds and hundreds of micro attenuators for my account. If you do not have access to things like Smuggler's Run 1 and Smuggler's Run 2 and Smuggler's Run 3, God knows where Smuggler's Run 2 is, by the way. It's just disappeared. It's taken a hiatus. It's gone. It's covered. It's fairy dust. Right? But in the late game, I'm quite happy to burn through these as much as possible. I'm also quite happy to just, spend my episode currency going through and buying additional micro attenuators. You also have access to micro attenuators over here. I'll get there in a second. Where is it? Guild events. So in the guild event store, you are able to use your get 3 essentially to get additional micro attenuators. Now, this is less valuable these days. I quite like getting the incomplete signal data and the fragmented signal data. These are expensive, but rarer than micro attenuators for me right now. Thanks to Smuggler's Run 3 turning up every 2 weeks, essentially. I think it's every 2 weeks, and giving me boatloads and boatloads of micro attenuators. So if you are looking for more access to mod slicing materials, you really should be focusing primarily on getting PK Hondo. PK's Hondo's event, Smuggler's Run 3, which runs every other Friday, I believe, or one Friday a month, something like that. It's every 3 weeks or something. This thing will give you hundreds of micro attenuators on a recurring basis. He has the best mod event game tied to his account. You need an R9 PK Hondo to get it done, but if you've got PK Hondo, you want R9 PK Hondo because he's a fantastic GL, and every GL should be at least Relic 9. After that, Jabba the Hutt has Smuggler's Run 2, which is about a quarter as good as PK Hondo's one, but still, outside of PK Hondo, his Smuggler's Run 2 is the best mod event in the game. Still massively valuable, hugely important to invest in, so get yourself Jabba the Hutt, alright? These two things massively improve your mod gaining capabilities. Now, I mentioned earlier today, what thresholds do I look at when I'm looking to slice my mods? How do I approach that, and how can you easily identify it? I've come up with a very basic infographic for you guys, just so that you can use when referencing. Okay, so I'm just going to take away my face ever so silently because it's kind of blocking it. So this is what I look at when I'm looking to see, is a mod worth slicing? So I start off over here. With your grey mods, if it's got at least a 4 roll of speed, that's, you know, sort of the bare minimum for me. I don't mind taking this one up and then slicing it to green. If you've got a green mod, I'm quite happy. If it hasn't rolled speed, so you've just got the 1 roll of speed on there, it's just the base, and it's still 4, I'm quite happy to slice this to a blue mod. If it has 2 rolls of speed, because it has the potential, once from being grey, essentially, and once from being green, I will only take a 2 roll of speed mod up further if it's got a minimum of 10. I don't like 9 speeds. You can adjust this to whatever your appetite is, but for me, I'll only look for something that's got at least 10 speed. Similarly, with blue, I do not slice something that has just got 1 roll of speed. I sell these usually. Now, it's up to you. These are under the assumptions you're at least level 12 on all these mods, obviously. It's up to you. If you want to keep slicing this in the hopes of hitting a high speed roll because maybe it's on an offense set and you've got 3 rolls of percentile offense and it's got a 5 or even a 6 base speed of speed, you're like, maybe you want to slice that mod. But for me personally, unless it's that perfect scenario of really good secondary stats, if I'm just looking at speed, I will only consider a blue mod for slicing if it's got 2 rolls at 10 or 3 rolls at 14. These are the minimums. You can get higher than this. Minimums on speed, okay? Purple, I will not do anything unless it's got 3 rolls at 14. Now, this is, like I said, it is an oversimplification. If it's got 2 rolls at 11 and it also happens to have percentile offense that has also rolled twice, I will probably consider this. But again, if we're just looking at speed in isolation, purple, 3 rolls, 14 speed, I'm quite happy with. If it's got 4 rolls, I want a minimum of 19 speed. I don't want it if it's got 18. I'll keep it, but I won't slice it further, okay? I won't keep investing in that mod for that purpose of gaining more speed. I will just leave it as it is. You can flex these numbers to how your account is, wherever your account position is, if you need more mods, if you are just desperate for more speed, maybe you can do that, but I would save these ones until much, much later. For a gold mod then, gold mod. Do you take this any further? This one is a little bit contentious. I still invest gold mods if they've got a minimum of 14 speed. The way I look at this is if it's a gold mod, it's got 14 speed. If I take it to 6E, that's a 15 speed minimum. I could still get another 2 rolls of speed and hit 25 minimum. I could hit 25 minimum. Okay, if I went through the 6E process, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. I've got the risk appetite for that. All right, similarly, if it's got 4 rolls, I will take it further. If it's got 4 rolls and it's 14, that's actually not that great of a mod. The maximum that you're going to get out of that is like a 20 or a 21. And whilst that's still okay, it's just not somewhere that I want to take the risk and invest my mod slicing mats, which are hard to obtain. I would rather leave those on the back burner until much, much later. And realistically speaking, you're probably going to farm more mods in the interim that are just going to replace this mod anyway because they're just better to invest in straight away. So 4 rolls at 19 and 5 rolls, generally speaking. If it's got 5 rolls already, you don't need to take it to 6A, but you might want to do it anyway because maybe it's a cross and it's got offense primary or it's got, you know, a speed primary with oh, well, actually, well, that won't be the case. You know, if it's got a primary that you want to take to 6E or it's got another secondary stat that you want to keep on investing in, absolutely fine. 5 rolls, you can take it to 6 dot modding and then continue to invest. So this is kind of the very high level, bare bones approach that I take when I'm looking to invest more in my speed mods in the search for more speed. Like I said, you guys don't have to use this approach. This is just the approach that I've taken over the years to build out my speed mods, okay? I've got a decent amount. You know, I do relatively well in Kyber 1 and stuff like that, and mods have definitely always been a part of why I can do that. So use this. It's in my Discord. Please go ahead, check the infographics section, help yourself to it. You know, you could also trash it. That's also fine. I don't mind. I'm just here to try and help you out a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if this video is useful, please do leave it a like. If you found it helpful, please comment down below with your useful tips and tricks for all the other viewers at home, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.